Hey there folks, this is Ed Beard again with the Employer's Edge. Very common for us to get asked, like, help me craft a couple of really good questions. Very, very common. So thought I might take some time from the coachings from yesterday to actually log the questions that I had asked in the coaching. Understand though that there's no such thing as a good question if you do not have respect and trust as a leader. Because if you are seen as though you're asking a question from a specific motivation, people are very calculating about how they answer any question. There's really no such thing as a good question. The other thing is, I have a purpose for every answer. That's what makes a question a good one. Does it give you an answer that you can use to do something with? So in the process of the conversation, these questions went through my head and I asked them. So I thought I'd share them with you, just a list of questions. All right, if you knew about the problem before this meeting, why haven't you taken action on that yet? Share with me an example of an action you have taken in the last 24 hours that built trust. For what reason do you behave differently at home than you do at work? In the midst of confusion or uncertainty, share what thoughts overcome you that compel you to dictate instead of asking good questions. How can you help them reframe their belief so that goal becomes possible? If you pride yourself on being a lifelong learner, why won't you ask your boss for feedback if the outcome is to learn something? If you define reliability as following processes and dependability as trying to do something new, how do your people know when to be reliable and when to be dependable? Share why that goal is worth the level of effort it's going to take to achieve it. What does it mean when people say they understand it but call you within minutes to ask you to explain it again? If the team repeatedly doesn't invite you, how do you know it is because they forget? Clearly define the outcome you want and then how you can work backwards from there. Describe your passion for that. Why did you use the word incompetent as the reason that they did that? Okay. So what I wanted to do is understand if the leader was prejudging people or had a motivation to judge somebody. It was from a 360 we were doing. And so they use the word incompetent. As a coach, remember, you don't just settle for what people say, you test everything, right? If you can't immediately recite your values, how are other people supposed to know? See, here's what's interesting, here's what you're working towards. You don't want to know if someone knows their values, you want to know if they can immediately recite them. Because if they can't, how are other people supposed to know what matters? Okay? What do you want to be known for? Share with me how I can know this is resonating with you. And you ask that one a lot because people say, do you get it? Are we on the same track? We're here, right? You know what I mean? And people can not know what you mean and they'll say, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So instead of saying, do you know what I mean? Or are we good? You get it? You know the job? Yeah. Instead of getting that and they're clueless, ask, share with me how I know this is resonating with you. Rewind the circumstances for me that sent you in that direction. Tell me why the light just came on right now. Think backwards for a minute. What thoughts did you just have that made you say that? Because you always want to know what people are thinking. Remember, they say something that reflects what they're thinking, but doesn't necessarily tell you what they're thinking. So you want to coach people around what they're thinking, not what they're saying. So you ask, think backwards. What thoughts made you just say that? What can you do to move from thinking it's true to knowing it's true? And then describe for me, in your mind, how you would articulate the difference between being smart and being wise. All right, so these are just questions that they all were asked yesterday in the fine folks that we're working with here, and I thought it just might help you to understand what good questions. But remember, the purpose is to get a good answer because I have a purpose for the answer. That's what makes you ask good questions. All right, hope those are some examples of good questions. Go use them. Let me know if we can be of help. Take care.